If you are an online course creator, you need to be focusing on pulling these two levers as effectively as possible, as soon as possible. What am I talking about? I'm talking about putting a big focus on your AOV and your LTV. AOV meaning average order value, and LTV, lifetime value of every customer that comes through. So basically, when someone comes through your sales funnel, how much are they spending initially? How much cash flow are you collecting? Are you putting a focus? Are you testing different things to make sure that you are actually collecting maximum upfront cash flow? Or are you just selling one thing to one person one time? Now, if we talk about over here LTV, once they buy here through this initial sales funnel, what else are we selling to them? What else are they buying? You see, I find that most course creators that have a good product, right? Mind you, good product. They launch their course oftentimes following some kind of blueprint. They have initial success, and then inevitably their ads tend to hit a wall or start to plateau. And then their sales drop, so their cash flow drops, their revenue drops, and they go from thinking about, okay, I'm going to start scaling this thing to, oh my gosh, how do I get my sales steady again? And they seem to always think that the answer is scaling ads, but oftentimes they don't have the skills to do that. But I find that many of them, when I ask, what are you selling? And we actually work through their sales funnel and their product itself and their offer, they're just selling one thing to one person one time. And I made the same mistake. The first course that I launched eventually hit 7 figures, but it took way longer than it should have, because when someone came through our sales funnel, they were buying a $500 product and then nothing else. Again, right? So we were just selling one thing to one person one time. Guys, this is not what we want to do, okay? We want to be very intentional when we think about our offer as a whole, and we want to design it in a way that allows us to maximize these two levers of AOV and LTV. So I'm going to show you what this looks like in a real world example from a course that I helped create and market. And this is an excellent example in a real world scenario of how we can build out an offer that takes advantage of pulling these two levers, so we can then make sure that we hit that 6 and 7 figure run rate way faster with way less stress. So let's check it out. So a few years back, we launched a course on how to create and edit Hormozi style reels. This was before CapCut, before AI, before all that stuff, and you actually had to go and do it in Premiere Pro. Now, our market and our brand was focused towards short form video creatives, videographers who wanted to sell short form content as a service. So we created this Hormozi style reels course, and it was a $27 low ticket offer, right? Let's just pretend I wrote 27. There we go. $27 low ticket offer on how to create Hormozi style reels in Premiere Pro. We threw in bonuses like editing assets, workflows, SOPs, etc. Did incredibly well. Now, thankfully, we didn't only sell this one thing. What we did at our checkout page is we had an order bump. So we'll do OB. My handwriting's terrible, guys. I apologize. So OB, an order bump where someone could add on an additional $17 upsell. Now, an order bump is, I'm sure you've seen it right there in the checkout. There's usually that flashing thing where you can tick the box and it says something like, yes, I want to add this extra product for X price. And what we did here was a separate mini course on how to basically give the course they just bought to editors overseas and then hire these editors overseas at a super low cost, and then they could start doing this at scale. So our whole play was, hey, now you've got the blueprint on how to edit these. Well, you don't want to be stuck in the editing room all the time. You want to do this at scale and start generating real money, real cash flow. So we're going to show you where to find the best editors. We're going to give you our whole training guide for our editors, our SOPs, and we're even going to give you some bonuses on how to lead these editors and some leadership assets. This did as well, just phenomenally well. And it turned out that over 50% of the people that came through this funnel ended up adding this on. So what we've already done here is take our AOV, our average order value, up from 27 up to 48 because we're getting that additional $17. Now, once again, we did not stop here. Okay, and now we're getting more into that LTV, but still in the AOV. So what we do next is, and again, we have built an offer with AOV and LTV in mind. So next we know that we have our flagship course, our main course that's like an all-inclusive course on starting, running, scaling a short-form video agency. Now we typically sell this course for $600, but we're going to give you an OTO, a one-time offer, where you can actually get this for 50% off. So you can jump in, get our whole course for just $300, right? Because you just got this stuff over here. Obviously, you're serious about starting, scaling, and getting a ton of revenue with your short form agency. So take advantage of this offer, jump into our main program, and you'll also get access to our whole exclusive members only community where we do workshops. We'll answer your questions, you'll get support, you'll connect and network with others, etc., right? You sell the whole next stage. And what was awesome is that this also converted extremely well. So all in all, what ended up happening was about 15% of the people who went through our initial offer to spend $27 ended up spending $300. That adds up real quick, especially when you're selling something like this that's a low ticket volume product. So that is going to be a massive boost to your revenue and your cash flow by increasing your AOV. And even if we weren't getting that full 300, we were still taking 50% of people from a purchase intent of 27 to now 48. So again, that extra $17 compounded at 50% of people doing that really adds up, and then factor in the 15% going to 300. You just did wonders for your revenue and your cash flow simply by being more intentional with your offer and setting it up with AOV in mind. So now let's talk about LTV, because this is where it really gets fun. And this is where you start to really see the way that you can scale to a 6 or even 7-figure program. So once they're in your main offer here, what are you selling them here, here, and here, right? So let's say we took our entry offer here, our $27, and that solved problem A. And this was a very opportunistic offer, and this was a perfect entry-level offer because it was something everyone in the industry was talking about and everyone was trying to figure out, and there were no real resources out there yet. So we solved problem A. And we knew that problem A led to problem B, which was going to be them getting stuck in the editing room, which we know every videographer does not want that. They want to actually be out creating the content, the creative stuff, not in the editing stuff. And we solved problem A, or problem B rather, with that order bump. I guess that this really should be right here. So we solved problem B with this order bump. Then we know they're going to be envisioning the possibilities, right? Okay, I can now outsource my editing. I can get editors. I can build a team. We really build the vision for how to do this at scale. But they're still going to have questions. There's still gaps. Well, then we give them the opportunity here at problem C to fill in those gaps and also get that community where they can get that support, because they're going to have, while they're excited about buying these products, there's probably going to be that thing in the back of their head, like, what if I have questions? What if I get stuck, etc.? That's where you offer them a community right here along with your flagship offer and really push the support aspect, the Q&A aspect, the workshop aspect, all that stuff. But don't stop there, right? Because even if they learn how to run a basic short form agency here, there still are going to be bottlenecks they will fall into. There's still going to be questions they're having. And inevitably, if they're good at this, they're going to want to continue to scale up. So What can we offer them to solve problem D? Well, what we did is we took a product for 1K, which was an install product, right? And this was, okay, you want to start getting systems in place to generate new high quality, high paying client leads on autopilot. So then you can have your editors be doing that work on autopilot and you can focus on scaling the business. So we'll come in and we will install our setter team into your DMs, and we'll actually start making sure that you are closing deals in these VA setters that we personally have trained. We'll give you our additional leadership assets, SOPs, etc. But we're going to install this for you, and we'll give you some additional sales scripts as well. So everything lines up with what the setters are saying, and you can pay us 1K and we'll come in and install that. Okay, great. People would go for that offer. Did really good. So what do we do here to solve problem E? Well, now what we can do is think about the people who really want to scale, right? Because they've already invested from 27 up to spending 300 to now 1K. They're going to really be serious about scaling. So you start weeding out the people in your community and you start focusing on the cream of the crop, right? Those that are really passionate, really serious about the product. And you put together a 3K group coaching program. Hey guys, we just put together a brand new offer for those that are super serious about taking things to the next level and hitting 6-figure months in their short form agency. We've been testing these new systems and strategies in our own agency. Here are the results. We're looking for XYZ amount of people to jump in, right? And you do some kind of launch like this. And then this can be something that maybe you roll over in cohorts, like quarterly, yearly, etc. But you get, let's say, 25, 30, you could even go as high as 50 people into that 3K. All right, that's a big influx for your cash flow. And then at the end here, what I always tell people is have your highest ticket offer. So maybe this is a 5K. And you yourself, one-on-one time with you, should be the most expensive premium product in your ecosystem. I talk to people a lot and they're selling like a $200 course and they have calls with them one-on-one as a bonus. And I always caution people of that for 2 reasons. First thing is you are setting a precedent of how much your time costs, and you're not valuing it very high if you're throwing it in as a free bonus. And that means that if you do this at scale and you build a community, you may find yourself running into having to do a ton of calls and then you can't focus on anything else and actually run your business. Or people start to try to leech off of you. People start to try to get more of your time because you have set the precedent that it is not a very high value. So what I always do is if you want the one-on-one time with the course creator, that's at the top of the ascension ladder here. And that's that one-on-one high ticket coaching package. So we can clearly see the impact here of designing an offer around pulling the levers of AOV and LTV. We went from what a lot of course creators I see do, just selling that one initial like $27, $48, $99 products, to building that product out as an entry-level offer with the intent and the strategy of working people through this whole funnel here to massively increase our lifetime value. Guys, if you build your offers this way, I can guarantee you that your cash flow is going to greatly increase, that you're going to find it much easier to scale, and you're going to be able to build a product that can hit 6 or 7 figures much faster. I have some free resources in my website below. Just go to the resources tab. Bunch of stuff there you can check out. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.